We're tracking the race for the White House here on your local election headquarters. President Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden held dueling town hall events to nationally televised audiences last night, trying to sway voters less than 3 weeks before Election Day. Joining us now to talk about the impact of those campaign stops is Dr. Lee Hanna, professor of political science at Wright State University. From what I saw on social media, people seem to be watching the candidate they already support. The president's base was critical of his moderator, Savannah Guthrie. They felt she interrupted some of his answers. Others noted the difference in tone for Joe Biden's town hall. In the end, were there any surprises? Did we learn anything new about either of these candidates?
Hi, Brooke. Yes, Biden's town hall, he was much more policy driven than I think we saw from his convention and certainly from the first debate. So I thought that was interesting. And I always like these town halls just to see how the candidates connect with voters, with people just, from the community that are there to ask their questions. And as you mentioned, President Trump did, have some combativeness with the moderator. But also, I think seeing him in that setting is different than having the two candidates on stage together.
Well, yeah, as November inches closer, do you think this format in place of a face-to-face debate will have any effect on poll numbers?
At this point, with so many people voting early as well as making up their minds, you're probably going to see less of an effect. And also the ratings were down quite a bit. So I went back and looked at the first debate. It had 73 million viewers. Last night, combined viewership about 25 million. So a lot of people did turn away that might have tuned in if the two candidates were facing off. I went back to the third debate in 2016, and you also have 76 million people watch that. So the viewership was a significant drop off, even considering other factors like more people watched the first debate than the others. There's still a big difference. So in that way, obviously the messages will be out there today in the partisan news, but certainly not as many people watch the actual events with their own eyes as we've seen in the past.
About 30 seconds left. One of the latest Quinnipiac polls shows the candidates in essentially a dead heat here in Ohio. President Trump obviously won Ohio in 2016. When you look at our state's demographic, what has changed since the last election? What are the key issues swaying voters?
Yes, I think you have to look at 2018 to see that Ohio voters are quite flexible. This is a state that Sherrod Brown carried by about 6 points, as well as Mike DeWine, members of opposite parties. So we are a bit more movable, perhaps, than some other states, which can mean that voters will actually, change their vote. This is a state that Obama won twice, and then Trump turned around and won. So again, it seems like our status as a swing state is still apparent in the 2020 election at the moment, at least.
It's going to make for an interesting election night, that is for sure. Dr. Lee Hanna from Wright State University, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Brooke.